Hey, this is Dabe with NOLA.com here with Guillory, also NOLA.com, our Pelicans beat writer. And Pelicans just completed their shoot around here Tuesday afternoon, I guess, Oakland time. I'm getting our times mixed up from being from Central to Pacific. But one thing that they were kind of asked about and talked about was that rest that they had yesterday. They were going to practice yesterday and then decided not to get some rest. And Alvin Gentry kind of talked about that a little bit, and Anthony Davis. And what's kind of your thought as far as that goes in terms of just getting in the right mindset for what they need to do in Game 5 here and facing elimination?
Yeah, I think Game 4 was a little bit of a gut punch loss for those guys. I think they needed just some time to get away from the game, get away from the court, just to recover mentally and physically. And I think AD mentioned today how important it's going to be for those top guys because they're probably going to play upwards around 45, 46 minutes tonight. So those guys need to make sure they're prepared for that type of workload. So I think it was important for them just to get away, get off of their feet, and just be prepared for this game tonight because they're going to have to leave it all on the court if they have any chance of winning this game tonight.
One common question the last few days has been the small ball lineup that the Warriors play. They started with that in Game 4, got off to that quick start, 17-4 lead, and then again that lineup was on the floor for the start of the third quarter after the Pelicans kind of closed the margin a little bit, and then they blew them away. Alvin Gentry, his take seems to be this is the lineup that they're going to face the most minutes. It doesn't matter who starts, but you got to think the fact that this was the lineup that Steve Kerr went with to start the game really kind of means something. And if they go with this lineup again, should we expect another quick spurt like this for the Warriors? It's not only a good offensive lineup, but it seems to be an even better defensive lineup.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing. I think that was the biggest factor in the beginning of the Game 4 is they came out so locked in on the defensive end, and they were pressuring the ball way up top at the top of the key, and I think it really affected the way the Pelicans played their offense. They ended up doing a lot of one-on-one. They ended up relying a lot on Anthony Davis. He scored maybe the first 8 or 10 points for the Pels in Game 4, so I think they would much rather have the ball moving around, getting a lot of people involved, getting around doing Drew Holiday driving into the lane, and if the Warriors come out pressuring the ball the way they did, they have to react to that in a better way than they did in Game 4 because I think it really took them off of that game. And then once the Warriors got going on the other end, the game was pretty much over in the first quarter. So I think that's really the big thing tonight is just them really accepting that pressure, knowing how to handle it, and keeping in their offense and not allowing that to stop what they want to do.
And the thing about that lineup is it's all 6'7" guys except Steph Curry, who's 6'3", and so it allows them to do a lot of switching and whatnot on defense, which can make things pretty difficult for the Pelicans. And one thing you were asking about was how to defend against Kevin Durant, the unanswerable question. Drew Holiday's had that assignment quite a bit, but second half last game you went back and looked at some of the film and saw it was more Anthony Davis getting out there on him. And what was your takeaway from what AD said and from what Gentry said, and you think we might be able to expect to see some more of that tonight?
Yeah, I think with a guy like Kevin Durant, especially when he was as hot as he was in Game 3, you just got to throw different guys at him, give him different looks just to get him uncomfortable because once he's hitting the way he was and he's 7 feet and he's shooting that ball so high in the air, there's nothing really you can do to stop him. So the biggest thing is just getting him uncomfortable, getting him off of his spot, and I think that's why they really wanted to throw AD at him to give him a different look. They maybe drew a smaller guy that's kind of trying to poke the ball away from him. AD is a guy that has the length to contest his shots up high, so I think maybe they'll throw a little bit more AD at him tonight just to see how that affects him and how that affects the Warriors offense overall. But I think the most important thing tonight is just, like I said, just getting him off of his spots, making him uncomfortable and not letting him get into that groove the way he did in the first quarter, because he hit his first couple shots in Game 4 and it just seemed like nobody could stop him no matter what you wanted to do. So if he gets into that same type of groove tonight, it's going to be trouble for the Pelicans. So they need to just make him uncomfortable, give him different looks, throw different guys at him so he can just feel like he doesn't know what's really going to happen on the offensive end and where his shots are going to come from.
All right, well, sounds good. Do or die tonight for the Pelicans. We'll see what happens.
We'll see.